anybody actually watched that show and reads the credits.
Dude, when you have that big of a following...
When you're as big as Kevin Godek,
listen,
all right?
And the show is on CBS, the most watched American cable news network, according to them.
Yeah, that's true. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the delay is no longer. We have Fear versus Papita, the two master drafters, NA versus SA. This is a big one. This is for elimination. This is life in the tournament right here. I'm Zyori, he's Mott. We've got Suns fan and Brax joining us from afar. All of us remote from DreamHack in Sweden. Of course, there is the main stream going on right now. You found your way over to DreamLeague 2, and thank you for joining us. This is our final series of the day, and we are ready to keep it serious.
I didn't screw up your intro.
Huh? Yes.
Yeah, can I give you a high five?
See, that's what I just said. Oh my God.
High fives all around.
Let's do it, guys.
So,
well done,
guys, we didn't talk about these teams too much leading up to it. Of course, EG are the heavy favorites. Any key heroes, any curveballs you think we're going to see out here? Remember, this is do or die.
I don't know. South America is way too hard to predict. Their lineups or their rosters change every couple weeks. There's like a mini shuffle every month, it seems.
Every event.
Literally every event. I mean, for example, I'll just give you one example here. Team Midas Club Elite, which is now known as Pain Gaming, not to make it more confusing, they qualified for Captain's Draft. They can't actually make any circuit points because they never registered. So they're literally playing just for prize pool. I don't know if that's the case for Infamous, but...
Is that seriously a thing? They can't change it afterwards?
No.
Great work, Suns fan.
Oh, no.
That's on you, buddy.
What do you mean it's on me? There's 2 registered teams in South America.
What, is it Infamous?
Infamous is probably one of them, yeah.
SG and Infamous, probably.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's definitely depressing, let me tell you.
It is what it is, my friends. But at the same time, we have seen, I think, Dota Pit top 6 SG got, right?
Yes.
They can definitely hang with them. I'm not sure if Infamous is on the same level as SG necessarily, but they do have that wild card factor, right? It's always something we bring up with South America.
Yeah.
Yep. They played newbie to get things started today. That's how they got knocked down. Very one-sided series, as now Tidehunter is the opener. Already a bit of variation.
They really want Tidehunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suns fan, did you know that Papita means daddy in Spanish?
No, I think of like a pita bread for some reason.
You're wrong. It means daddy.
Okay. Thank you, Zyori, educating us. I'm trying to think of the last time I've seen a Tidehunter first pick in the history of Dota. It's got to go years back. I'm sure it's happened recently. But.
It is very odd. You know, it's interesting that you bring that up, Zyori. It's nice to know the lore behind all the players.
It's true.
The lore, you say?
Like Costa Bile. Shout out to another great South American player.
Costa Bile. He told me that he's been watching me cast since Han, and I said, Jesus, man, I'm so sorry.
Did he tell you that?
That's what he said to me right before we started interviewing each other. Or I interviewed him, I guess. It was a one-way interview.
Why did you apologize to him?
That was my attempt at humor, Mott. You know?
I don't have any back.
Well, Disruptor, Slardar, it's a pretty good duo, right? Slardar's fast. He gives you vision with the amplified damage, corrosive haze nonsense, so Disruptor can pull him back and then put him inside of the kinetic field. It's a great duo, Mott. A lot of synergy.
It's a whole thing.
But it opens up for Bane to be picked up by Infamous. He makes it through again, actually. Winter Wyvern in that first banning trio.
But no Ogre. Not yet, anyway. That was the first pick for Fnatic, I think, not in all 3 games. They picked it in at least 2 of them, I'm pretty sure, in that best-of-3 series. The Ogre also pretty strong now, currently. But Bane, Disruptor, Slaughter, good heroes to start out with. Tidehunter, we already talked about how strange that is for a first overall pick. At least for Infamous, I know Newbie's been playing a lot of it recently. They really like it for KP, but...
I mean, Tidehunter
first pick?
Cool.
Do they first pick it?
I'm not sure. I want to say no.
I don't think so.
Ten seconds remaining.
No, Tide is definitely very good. It's just when you pick them so early, you kind of set himself up for not the best lane phase.
Do you see the diaper he's wearing, by the way? Does
Yeah,
that
I
look
was
looking
like
at that too.
What is that?
incredibly low quality? It's like incredibly. That's like literal Minecraft quality, right?
Is that like
That's really rude.
It's like a really high quality model wrapped in Flintstone art. That's what it looks like.
Okay, come on, man.
Dude, what if the artist
all
that
afford
designed
Huggies.
Tidehunter's
10
stuff is
seconds
watching?
remaining.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, it's a Valve made item, so it's not. I don't think they'll care. They're doing great for themselves.
Valve watches Dota tournaments. Come on, buddy.
It's more about budget. I mean, this is a thing that was just left over from the original beta that they just haven't remedied. I don't think they'd find a fence, Mott.
Okay, sorry, buddy.
So Slark now banned out by Infamous. That's interesting. You don't see a lot of people playing Slark these days.
We had
Yeah,
the
that's
1/5 pick
true.
from Infamous earlier in the tournament.
Yeah, maybe a hero that's valued slightly more within the region.
Yeah, I think it definitely feels like a South American hero. That's for sure.
Anti-mage banned out by EG.
EG's
All right.
turn to pick.
I want Marana. I want Marana Bane. I love this combo. It's so fun to watch. Easy setup. Makes the game very enjoyable to watch, if I do say so myself.
Sure. Marana
Dire
Bane
team
tied.
pick.
Very strong. But now the
Oh,
Abaddon.
Abaddon,
So
alright.
say goodbye to your Marana Bane.
Still do
Yep.
it. It's fine. It's easy.
Is it?
Yeah, it's great.
No.
I mean,
You
Marana's
definitely don't
still a
want it now.
good hero, you know?
10 seconds
Yeah,
And
it's
you're
probably not
giving
great.
this Abaddon the double counter. He counters the Bane setup and he counters the
5
arrow.
seconds remaining.
And then you have Disruptor Glimpse again.
What's a good carry versus Disruptor? Is there one?
Somebody that doesn't care if he gets silenced or glimpsed.
I think
Lifestealer.
Lifestealer.
Wraith King, Lifestealer, those two. Actually, maybe not even Wraith King.
Yeah, forget about Wraith King.
Dude, I love Wraith King.
EG's turn to pick.
Ooh.
Okay.
So there's your roaming 4. We've got our 3, 4, 5 on the side of Infamous. So a couple of chords. Next is Luna for a little change of pace. All right, going up to Scotland.
This is
What does Luna ride?
It's a
Well,
panther.
it's-
Big Cat. Isn't she the
Panther
Huntress
Lion.
from Warcraft 3, I believe?
It's a lion of some sort.
10 seconds remaining.
That's a lion, panther, cat. Which one is it?
I think it's a hippogriff.
5 seconds.
It's not a hippogriff. Hippogriffs
Correct
have
me
wings.
if I'm wrong. She was the Huntress in Warcraft 3. If we're going on that lore,
Yes. Yes.
then it was
They were tiger things.
tigers. Yeah, some lion tiger thing. You know, we'll figure this
It's
out.
a liger.
His name is Nova. That's all I know. Important.
Was it really
It
a
is
liger?
important.
Thanks, Brax. All right.
Guys, lore is really important, not only in the heroes but in the players. You gotta understand where they've came from. You know, their background. Universe. He loves space.
There it
Artesia,
is.
that's his name.
Yeah.
Crit, I'm not sure.
These are great interview questions. Why do you call yourself Crit? I don't know. I have no idea.
You know, Schofield, he likes Michael Schofield.
Like from
The
that
show?
movie or that TV show?
That show was so bad.
Wait, what show are we
Yeah.
talking about?
Prison Break.
Prison Break.
It was
Oh.
so bad. That's
I've
one of
never
the worst
seen that
shows I've
show.
ever watched in my life.
The first season's entertaining.
Yeah,
After
first
that,
season's
it goes
good.
off the rails.
Is it like 24?
Sort of. It's like every episode
5
ends on a
seconds
cliffhanger. It's the
remaining.
one where his brother goes to jail unjustly, so he gets the schematics of the jail tattooed on his body, and then gets intentionally convicted, and then they escape together.
Yes.
Spoiler: it
Oh,
doesn't end well.
Wait, you
spoiled
just
Prison
ruined the whole
Break.
show for me.
I
Don't
can't
worry, you don't
believe
need to
it.
watch it, dude. I'll save you some time.
But
All right, so Terrorblade for Infamous. We haven't seen Terrorblade do all so well today. I think against the Disrupt, it's a little bit of a scary Terrorblade game, right? You've got a lot of burst damage from the Luna Slardar Disruptor combo. BKB going to be a requirement for the TB.
You know, the TV reflection is super good against Luna. All the illusions apply
10
the
seconds
glaives and
remaining.
they bounce everywhere.
it's true.
That's a great point, Braxy.
5 seconds remaining.
They got a lot of team fight for Infamous. They got a lot of it. I like it a lot. They need a mid laner to round it all out here for this Infamous team, and the same could be said for EG. Working on Sumail's hero more than likely. They'll ban out the puck for Infamous, get that annoying hero away, and then Infamous, they'll have their choice. They've picked a lot of Death Prophet, of course, it is banned, so that's not going to be available. Instead, they will go for the Queen of Pain, the Papita Queen of Pain, one of his better heroes for sure.
I like it. Very mobile.
Is this a storm game?
Oh.
Instant pick. Is that a Sumail Timbersaw? Oh my.
Yes, it should be.
Timbersaw pick is great. They really don't have a lot of control. No traditional silences to lock him down. This Timber should have a fairly easy game, and of course a very effective hero against Tide Terrorblade.
I'm excited.
Damn,
for
look at
this.
that Luna headpiece. What is that? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I've never seen that before. That looks nuts.
Looks like a Darkseer item.
Channeling the moon or something. I don't know.
I
Some
like it.
more. Brax, you know the lore, I'm sure.
Well, so what do you guys think? Is there some merit to this infamous draft, Brax? You think they can stick it to EG?
I think they definitely have the opportunity. Like their 5-man and their team fight is very, very good. But at the same time, if Timbersaw has a fantastic game, he could be unkillable.
Yeah, I think the Abaddon is really what ties it together for me. It just gives them that extra bit of sustainability. One of the issues with Luna is that she is relatively squishy in those early levels before she really comes online. And a hero like Abaddon just gives her so much more survivability in those team fights. Lets her be a little more aggressive with like the ulti positioning, that kind of stuff. I'm definitely favoring EG. But with that said, Suns fan and Brax, I know you're excited to cast this game. So I will hand it over
Thank
after this
you.
long and verbose sentence is complete.
Thank
friend.
you, Zyori. You're so well spoken. I'm very jealous. Suns fan here with Braximus the Maximus. We got game 1 of this best of 3 between EG and Infamous for the DreamHack Season 8 Major. We are the remote casters. Brax, are you excited?
I am excited. Infamous are smoked up. They are making a 5-man rotation down to try to catch out Arteezy, but you know, there's a
Oh,
boy.
not quite in range for the nightmare.
Unlucky.
And Arteezy will hide away, tucked away in the trees. This is the headpiece. Oh, it's actually an infused headpiece. So it was part of one of the compendiums. Huh.
30 seconds.
Have to look that up after this game.
Very cool.
I know
Luna
you're
has
a big
taunt.
cosmetic fan, right?
I am.
Are you the one that said that you used to delete your items?
Wait. I used to delete. No, that's insane. Why would I do that?
That was you, wasn't it?
No, I used to sell my items.
Somebody I know deletes them, and he's a pro player, and I can't remember who. And now they regret it because they don't look
That
pretty
sounds-
anymore.
That sounds pretty stupid, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's probably somebody from EG, actually, now that I think about it. Anywho, Arteezy in the bot lane as your Luna. Going to be accompanied by the Fear Man himself. Old Stinger's going to be caught out here. The Thunder Strike to start things off. In the meantime, though, Crit, he's going to be found out in the enemy jungle for Infamous. Has the level 1 crush, no sprint. He's going to dodge the roll in. And looks like that'll break things up completely. He did take a lot of damage, though.
Yep, he
This
should
is
be okay.
Bane. Goodness.
So Bane has Nightmare level 1 now, which means he's not going to have anywhere near the strong lane presence we're used to seeing from Bane. Like, typically he'd have Brain Sap and just sit on this Timbersaw's hill.
He could
I
just do
guess-
that.
I guess this works. He's... Okay.
The roll in is going to be blocked out by Crit, doing a nice job. Still has that crush available, so should be good to go from here. And Sumail, what do you think of the matchup, though, for Timbersaw versus Quap? Obviously, Shadow Strike, quite powerful. You don't really want to right-click too much as those reactive armor stacks will go to work in favor of Sumail.
So, before Timbersaw has level 2 of the reactive armor, it's actually pretty easy for Queen of Pain. You can harass him a lot with the Shadow Strike, but once he starts to get more than 2 levels in the armor, that's when he can kind of sustain through the damage and just ignore Queen of Pain after that. So once he makes it there, he's fine, which is why the Bane getting Nightmare is such a big deal, because he could just sit there with Brain Sap and ruin his life.
Look how low he is right now.
Yep.
160 HP, Pepita. That's another Shadow Strike now. Really wants to get that to level 2, I assume, before expending it again. Universe in the top lane aggroing these creeps, so we'll be getting some nice experience coming his way shortly. Crit, looking for this bounty rune. Schofield is here as well. Big fan of Prison Break. The crush is there, though. Crit will take it for himself. He's decently fast, actually. There's another crush in 2 seconds, but looking to back up here. We'll get it off as the roll-in comes, and this is going to be a free invis rune for Crit. So you can make use of this.
Yep, very nicely done. And yeah, Timbersaw's reached that point where he just doesn't take damage in the lane at all, as long as he keeps up his 10 stacks.
Yeah, quite easy to keep those stacks up, of course. And Pepita, do you even bother going level 2 Shadow Strike? What's the build these days on Quap?
It just depends. You get 2 Shadow Strike if it helps you in lane phase, otherwise it's just a normal build. Usually if you get 2 points in Shadow Strike, you skip the ult at 6.
Bottom lane.
Stinger's on the run.
Yeah, old Stinger was hiding in the trees for quite a while, and there was a search party out for him. As he does get the
Found
gush
it.
off. Yeah, they sure did. I don't think Arteezy is going to be able to chase this down, though. And he's just going to TP back to base, in fact. So looking at the CS, we got the Terrorblade 17-1 versus the 16-11 for Arteezy. Doing a nice job of keeping creep equilibrium. Can we call it creep-equilibrium? Is that a thing?
We could, but I think it might confuse a lot of new players.
Creep-equilibrium. I think it's fine. Top lane Schofield still only level 1 right now on the Earth Spirit. He's gonna be forced out by Universe in that level 1 Curse of Avernus.
Avernus.
We've had this discussion before, Brax.
I'm
For God's
aware.
sake.
And you get
Abaddon
it
and
wrong
Curse of Avernus.
every time.
It's not about getting it wrong. It's about choosing your side. If you wanna think the Earth is flat, that's your right
All
to
right,
be an
you've
idiot.
chosen the
you
wrong
know?
side, and I'm gonna let you know every time you bring it
Yeah,
up.
but this is quite different than the Earth is flat argument, all right? Universe being applied a little bit of pressure here as the Metamorphosis is popped. No Aphotic Shields for another 5 seconds. Schofield's here. He's going to roll on in. He's blocking Mint completely. This could be a big kill going the way of Infamous. And they should be able to find it one way or the other. But the miscoil just in time to deny himself. And meanwhile, mid lane, Sumail looks like he's doing quite well for himself in this lane. 23-3
He's
versus
in
17-4. I think he's fine.
He is. This is something you just can't do anything about. He can sit here and tank forever. And then look what happens to the creeps. They just die to the tower. Queen of Pain can't
Yeah.
walk past them.
Oh, crit. He has the haste, but it's dissipating now. And Sumail is a literal god in this mid lane right now. Crush, meanwhile. Nightmare's there. Schofield, the block. Nicely done from crit. And that's going to be first blood going the way of EG. As Sumail is just bullying Pepita right now. Pepita can't do a whole lot about it. Level 3 Scream of Pain, though. And try to push out these lanes.
Most heroes can't do anything about this at all.
Oh, there's the crush. Can he find the extra right clicks? No. Sumail, of course, no levels of Timber Chain. Pretty common when you have the mid lane Timber Saw. But he's going to be fine with that. That forces out the shrine and
Dire's middle tower is
Sumail.
under attack.
Look how much damage he's done to the tower just by aggroing the creeps.
Yep, and now there's going to be a siege creep coming too. So let's talk a bit about the side lanes. So the Abaddon has he's got 26 CS, off to a fantastic start, as opposed to the Tidehunter's 4 CS, who's gushing for creep last hits. That's how hard it is down there.
Yeah, that's never good. He's
I
level
mean, that's
3 right
the,
now.
That's the difference between picking your offlaner first and picking it after you see some support heroes.
Right. What do you think is that just like a comfort level thing to get Tidehunter? They just have to have it? It's just so unusual.
Maybe it is, or maybe it's part of maybe they pre-planned their strategy for this this match and it's something they desperately wanted. I actually don't know. Maybe it's something they pick all the time.
And Sumail might be in some trouble here. Nice stun from Schofield. There's a counter crush though from Crit. Sumail slowly ticking away. Finally will drop as Infamous get a much needed kill on the super tanky Sumail. Crit another Invis room. And this is the second shrine popped here for Infamous as well. Very early stage of the game.
Well, it's the value shrine. Got all the 3 heroes.
Yeah, true.
Jesus,
Crit
Sumail's
looking for an
dead for a
opening.
long time.
Yeah, that's true. Now level 6. We'll have Arcane Boots here shortly. But, I mean, all said and done, we still have 2 carries that are farming, essentially free farming, I guess you could say, with the Terrorblade and Luna, respectively, for each side.
Yep, very true.
But I think you're right. The big story tell here, other than the mid lane, is as Universe and company are going to go onto the Terrorblade. Level 6, but no Sunder is not saving a point right now. So it has to play a little bit passively. But the level discrepancy between the off lanes is quite huge. Level 4 versus level 6
Dire's
at the
middle
current
tower
point.
is under attack.
Yep. And we can see the difference just in the lane pressure. The Abaddon level 6 can run at all 3 heroes and just fight in front of their face, even with the Metamorphosis. While Tide has to resort to farming the jungle where EG can just freely chip away at this bottom tower.
Universe top lane. He just leveled borrowed time, but I think it is to no avail, my friends, as he will drop one way or the other. It'll be at the hands of the Bane Elemental. But meanwhile, Tier 1 being pressured by Arteezy and company. 2 simultaneous TPs, Titan level 4. Better be careful. There's the crush. A couple more right clicks should suffice. I think Fear just sent someone back to where they came, and Schofield, the last remaining member in this bot lane for Infamous. Nice rollout, though. Able to fog out the Lucent Beam. But all while, Sumail is still just pressuring this mid lane.
They can't do anything to him at all.
He's very hard to kill. And Radiant Tower taken out by the Radiant. Oh, that Chakram almost enough to take up Papita. He's just forced back to base. What's the actual CS in this mid lane? 53-7 versus 25-4. Holy jeez.
Yep, this is not a fun matchup at all. This is it happens to a lot of mid heroes. Like this used to be around TI. This was a Puck counter as well. Puck didn't have enough damage to pressure Timbersaw enough in the early levels when he's still vulnerable. And then the same thing happens. It's a TA scenario all over again, where you just can't leave your lane, unless you want to lose your tower, of course.
Mm-hmm. And look at the net worth. Arteezy right now on top, has the Aquila, has the wand, has the treads, and almost done with the full Mask of Madness, in fact. And the question is, are they stacking for him? Doesn't look like any of the Ancients are stacked right now. How big of a deal is that for Lunas these days, getting support stacks?
Well, definitely it helps, but you shouldn't ruin your game to stack.
Arteezy's in a lot of trouble. Pops the Eclipse, dealing a lot of damage, but it's being mitigated by the fact that there are 3 members of Infamous, and that's the last right click along with the Shadow Strike from Papita. A much needed kill on the top net worth here on the game.
Oh, very nicely done.
Oh, meanwhile, mid lane, glimpse into the kinetic field. Terrorblade does have Sunder, but no mana to use it. If he tread swaps, perhaps can get it off. Getting quite low. He has it available, uses on crit, and looks like he'll live through the day as a result. Fear, in the meantime, takes the Brain Sap from Excel. And that'll break things up. Lots of spells used, but no kills will come of it.
Well, we're talking about stacks. Now we'll have one of the Ancients on the left side. Just kidding. The one of Tiny's brothers just walks right back into the pit.
Yeah, what is that? What is that all about? Just doesn't feel like fitting in with the crowd.
I guess so.
Non-conformist, ancient rock golem.
An odd one, that's for sure. But yeah, this is the... So Queen of Pain has 2 kills, sure, but her CS is severely lacking. Also doing very poorly in the level department. Down 2 full levels on Timbersaw, and that's just because you get zoned behind your tower. Timbersaw can tank everything, and you can't walk past him without tanking the full creep wave. Just tanking so much damage you can't lane anywhere. So,
right.
I don't know, it's not the position you want to be playing Queen of Pain from. Again, this hero also plays from ahead. When you're winning the game and you're dominant on the map, you can make a lot of rotations, make a lot of moves, but when you're playing this defensive sort of, when you're postured defensively on the map, you can't really go anywhere. She's just kind of stuck to farming.
Yeah, and she's, of course, working towards the Treads and Veil at the moment. As the 25% XP gain is now in effect for Sumail over the 6th spell amp. So his levels are going to, in all likelihood, snowball out of control here. Excel, he finds him, gets the Nightmare off, and there's a lot of members of Infamous on the way. See if they have enough. Of course, no ultimate to work with as far as Bane is concerned. Papita with a Shadow Strike. Scream of Pain in there as well. Here comes Universe. Has the Aphotic Shield. There's the first Ravage of the game. Sumail in a lot of trouble. Get the Timber Chain off again. Still has 20 armor. In fact, wants to go in for some more. If they have enough to actually fight this. Literally 2 versus 5, and Sumail is not scared. He will drop to the Sonic Wave. Perhaps a little bit of hubris coming the way of Sumail that time around.
Well, that's that.
Usually when you're in a 1v5 scenario, you try to run, but Sumail does have confidence, so it's a good and a bad thing.
He bleeds confidence, and there may have misled him a little bit.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
still, even though he died, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? A 5-hero rotation, Sonic Wave used, Metamorphosis used without getting an objective, and then meanwhile, everyone on EG is still farming. Like, look at Crit's farm. He almost has Blink Dagger.
What?
Yep, super farmed.
Holy crap. That is ridiculous. And with that, they're going to have even better initiation. I mean, Timbersaw, I wouldn't call him an initiator per se, but he's definitely a frontliner. And with this, actually, Corrosive Haze going to be taking out Roche. And knowing that Metamorphosis is down, Infamous don't think there's literally anything they can do, along with Sonic Wave as well.
Sumail could just tank this forever, too.
And expect this to go the way... Well, you could give it to Arteezy, but I... You think Sumail's too tanky? He doesn't need it?
Takes Aegis.
If he had Bloodstone, would he take it?
Probably not. Sumail has Aegis. I am wrong.
Okay. I mean, it's better safe than sorry. You can get ultra aggressive. You can be just as confident as before and not have to worry about it. This crit, Blink Dagger not in his inventory yet. Gets the crush off onto Pepita. Surprised he actually got that off. Pepita blink away. Should be fine. Lucent Beam already used, so no canceling available. But the crazy thing about this is Crit will have his Blink Dagger. They will definitely not expect this.
Oh no, it's super, super fast.
Although
Except there is an observer
there's
ward.
a ward.
Yep.
They know.
And they
oh
smoke
boy.
on top of it. Unfortunate.
All right.
Well, it's still. Tower's a tower.
True.
And you actually have quite the pushing lineup here. Timbersaw is actually super good at pushing. All he has to do is stack up the reactive armor and he can tank the tower forever. And you have Luna and Abaddon hitting the tower as well. These things die quite quickly. And it's also, he kind of zones off the enemy team, right? He's going to be in between everybody, just throwing out chakrams, tanking up everything, absorbing all the damage. This hero is really good when he's put in this scenario where he has a free lane.
I'm a real fan of mid Timbersaws in general. I wish we'd see a little bit more of it.
I am as well. But I feel like they had the tools to deal with it. Like if Bane started mid and had Brain Sap instead of Nightmare, they can both just sit there and right-click him forever.
Yeah, Papita starts it off with a Shadow Strike, has Sonic Wave available to him. We'll take Losing Beam. There's a Ravage onto a bunch of heroes. Will it be enough? Counter Crush from Crit. There's a Static Storm onto 2 with the Sonic Wave. They're going to blow up Arteezy right off the bat. And there's the Metamorphosis going to work with Sumail in the midst of things. Gets sundered. Of course, he has a lot of burst damage to work with. That's his Aegis. It's a 2 for 2, not including the Aegis. His Universe already used the borrowed time. He's going to be chased by Pepita. And they're going to apply the pressure now to the overwhelming damage from Infamous. Able to take out EG in space 4 for 1, including the Aegis. Great fight.
Yep, a bit of a... It was a good play from Infamous to smoke around the back, but this is 2017. This has been standard for such a long time now. You have to expect this kind of play. Like
2017.
It's so unusual not to have somebody positioned in the bottom part of that push so that they can actually break the smoke, and then Tidehunter can't casually walk in and ravage the entire back line of EG. Like, in theory, Tidehunter should be walking into a Static Storm and just die instantly, but...
Right.
You know,
yeah,
they needed that.
I didn't see him walk up, so I just assumed he had Blink Dagger. But I guess you're right. He literally walked up and ravaged.
Yeah, they were just, they're all hugging the top side instead of having one hero positioned towards the bottom to break the smoke, so they got caught off guard by that. But they're just going again. They don't care.
Yeah.
And it's the right move. No Ravage, no Metamorphosis. The tier 3 at least should be quite easy to take.
Very, very long cooldowns for Infamous.
Yeah, Pepita blinks into Luna.
Oh boy. Eclipse into the kinetic field, and down goes your Queen of Pain for 45 seconds. No buyback. 16 minutes in, still relatively early. This Terrorblade is going to apply a little pressure to the tier 1 mid, but in the meantime, you're going to lose your tier 3 tower, if not more. And without these ultimates that you're talking about, we're going to consider Metamorphosis an ultimate for this game.
It basically is, right? It plays off the same concept. It's a very, very long cooldown ability that you need to fight.
Remember when it used to be his ultimate?
Yeah.
Back in the day. He used to have Life Drain, too.
Yeah, it used to be so garbage that they remade the Life Drain into a Life Drain that you can use while moving.
That's right. And put it on a different hero, in fact. Terrorblade being scouted out here. We got some TP support coming away from here. There's the glimpse into the kinetic field. He gets silenced, but damage has been done. Nice stun onto Slardar, though. Crit finally able to get off the crush, and there's the Static Storm. And that is more than enough to take out your Terrorblade for Infamous. Schofield attempting to TP out, but there's the crush again. And full racks, 2 kills. Don't see EG stopping this time.
No, definitely not. It looks like every tower is going to be pretty free for them. Honestly, even with the Ravage being online, it's still the same thing, right? As long as they don't make the same mistake where Tide's able to just walk in casually from the back lines and Ravage Luna and some other heroes, it's not going to go that well. Especially with the newly acquired gold from EG from taking the top rack, so it gets harder and harder at this point.
There's a Kaya picked up on Timbersaw. Of course, we don't get to see this hero that much these days, but Kaya makes a hell of a lot of sense for him. Should be fun to watch at the very least. Has 16 Bloodstone charges. We'll be going for a Blink next. Looks like a scan was used by EG. So Roshan not going to be up for another 3 minutes or so. At the very least, actually.
Yep.
There's an Invis on Papita. Level 13. Has duels. Looking for Universe in this bot lane. We'll get the Shadow Strike off, but the beauty of a Aphotic Shield, my friends. Going to continue the pressure, though. Aphotic, or Borrowed Time still available to him if needed. And Papita will be happy with the creeps at the very least.
We're just ramming a couple more, trying to pressure Baden, but now he's the one that has no health.
Oh,
I mean,
at least has a getaway.
At this point, they're like, they feel like they're at the mercy of EG. EG have total control of the map. They can run and push anything that they want. And Infamous, I guess, Stinger's pretty close to his Blink Dagger, 1600 gold. Maybe that'll make a difference in these fights. He went for the Hood Medallion, very tanky build.
Yeah. And it worked out quite well from the last fight, so it doesn't really need the Blink necessarily. I mean, the fight they lost / lost Rax, he just didn't have his ultimate. And there's not a whole lot you can do at this stage of the game about that.
Yep, that's true.
Kind of a draft issue, if anything. Sumail level 14. Akaya is now officially in his inventory. We'll see how much damage he can do.
You
And
see
getting
this?
close to the level
This terrible
15.
illusion. They think it's an illusion, but he's just casually walking in.
Yeah. Well, there's the stun. It will hit onto Arteezy. Crit taking the brunt of the damage, though. Here comes the Chakram. Arteezy, better be careful. He's at half HP, taking a beating into the Sonic Wave. Infamous clean him up. In the meantime, Universe, of course, wasn't available for the Aphotic Shield. The range on that is quite low. But then, I mean, you get a kill, which is great. But again, the issue with this lineup, now that you don't have Metamorphosis, in theory, EG can push. You do have the Ravage to worry about, but it's Ravage, Sonic Wave, and at this stage with a 5k lead, you think they can withstand it.
It's literally the same situation where they lost the top racks. EG's going to respawn. They'll have a big window where there's no Metamorphosis. It'll be like 90 seconds to a minute and a half where they can just run down a lane. Look at them. They're all just sitting mid lane, getting the waves out, waiting for Luna to respawn, and they can just march down.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot about these new talents for Timbersaw. Level 15, 100 damage or 5 reactive armor stacks. 100 damage, so random.
He's the last person that likes auto attack damage, but it's a lot. It's a shit ton.
It is a lot. It really is. And the fact that it's at level 15 is crazy. I mean, the Techies one is 251 at level 25, and I think Tidehunter has the same. Well, 200, I think. No, it's 250 at 25 for himself.
250 is the magic number. Yeah, this is a good response from Papita. At least he's getting some damage bottom, so it might make EG think about going back to the base to defend. Yep, they pop the glyph as well.
Not scaring him off. Fear has no TP. Universe is on cooldown. He might be able to get... I mean, maybe he won't get the tier 3 itself, but he gets extremely low, and Illusions will go to town on it as well. Now that Fear is here... Don't know if they have vision on him. Don't think so. Oh, the glimpse at the last second into the Static Storm. Papita, well, he gets off of Yules. If he can get anything more. It doesn't have a TP, of course, so kind of has to play Ring Around the Rosie, if nothing else. Static Storm, or the Kinetic Field again. And it feels like the eventuality is that they will find... Oh, Papita creating a lot of space. But eventually does find his way to death.
You know, if nothing else, he stalls, right? And now EG have to march down the bottom lane again instead of the mid lane, and Metamorphosis is back up, so... Yeah. Tidehunter also has his Blink Dagger picked up, so now they have some initiation for the fights.
Yeah, I mean, part of the issue, though, is he has shown it now, so there won't be a surprise factor. As there's now 17 charges on Sumail's Bloodstone. And Arteezy, I think once he gets BKB, he's not going to be too worried about dying.
No, there's no instant stun or anything. It's very easy to BKB the Blink Ravage when you know it's coming. And then same thing with the Rolling Boulder.
Well, Excel's going to be initiated on by Crit. There's the Glimpse into Lucent Beam as well. Kinetic Field. And I believe Infamous is resigned to losing their Bane for now. Going to be some more damage coming through the Sumail. Metamorphosis is popped. The Ravage hits nobody. Oh, that is huge. But they do clean up Sumail. 5 seconds, he'll be back. Yule's on top of Arteezy. Into the reflection. And right now, EG are looking to run, or are they? I believe Sumail's on his way back. Static Storm onto Terrorblade. Can he sunder? Nope. Silenced and brought down. And Universe keeping everybody super healthy. They lose 2, does Infamous, and make it 3 with the Tidehunter next to follow. And with that, you have to think EG will just push. Maybe take Roche first.
Yep, Roche looks free. The Ravage, I don't know. Like, they got Timbersaw with the Ravage, but they commit so much to kill a hero that respawns almost instantly and make it back into the fight with his Boots of Travel. So, yeah, it's tough.
And the fact after all that, he's back up to 14 Bloodstone charges.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane. And I do believe they're going to be pushing this top wave at the very least so that they can take off the backdoor protection in mid. And Sumail is just going to tank the tower, like we've talked about time and time again. No Ravage, no Metamorphosis for a very long time. It'll be a struggle to defend this if you're Infamous. But in the meantime, bottom lane, Papita might be able to clean up the tier 3 at the very least. Unless there is a TP back from Crit. He does not have a TP, actually. It would be probably Fear with that responsibility. And yeah, the tier 3 will definitely fall. Universe taking a lot of damage, but more damage being done to the Infamous racks in this mid lane. Sumail, super tanky as all else. Crit jumps in with the crush onto 2 heroes. They're going to clean up the Earth Spirit first. Bottom lane, looks like Universe does TP back and defends against the onslaught that is the right click of Queen of Pain.
Not the most threatening right click in the game, but still, they get a tier 3 on the side of Infamous. It's better than nothing, right? They're going to lose that main Rax pretty much no matter what, so. It's, they're in a shit position where they cannot team fight. They have to wait for their long ultimates to come up. And even when they have them, it's still not easy.
Yeah. 10k lead for EG, so it's starting to stack more and more in their favor. Only 25 minutes in the game. And 10-second BKB on Arteezy with the Aegis. Expect them to just go full throttle again. Even with these ultimates up on Infamous's side.
Yep, BKB Aegis cheese. There's nothing to be afraid of at this point. Like, I don't know. It just feels so weird because Ravage is like the only way they can start the fights, right? Like, sure, Earth Spirit can roll in and he has a Blink Dagger now, but it just doesn't feel very reliable. And on the side of EG, they have the Blink Slaughter that can start these fights. But most importantly, EG force Infamous to fight them in some way by attacking their towers, right? That makes them group up, that makes them respond to what's happening, so EG have that aspect going for them. And it's like, on the other side, like, Sumail just tanks his tower. You can't go on this 50 armor Timbersaw who's got a zillion health regen. And then he just gives vision, so that can happen.
Yeah, Earth Spirit, Dunzo, and from behind, here comes Bane and Terrorblade. Tier 3 towers dead, though. BKB popped by Arteezy. He's just going for racks. Objective-based gaming. Static Storm and other things used to kill off the Disruptor at the very least. They stun up Terrorblade. The Eclipse takes him out before he can do anything. He's dead for 60 seconds. No buyback. Earth Spirit does buy back into the game, but feels like the numbers are in favor of EG right now. And they're going to get, in all likelihood, mega creeps with this last remaining range racks in mid. GG's come out, so game 1 going to EG very convincingly, which at the end of the day, it can't be too big of a surprise.
It was done in a nice fashion, though. We got to see the mid Timbersaw. It did super well in lane. He doubled up on the CS, took the tower pretty much alone, and then game just looked easy from there. They just went from tower to tower, and there's nothing Infamous could do to stop Timbersaw with a bat and shields.
Yeah, rough stuff all around for Infamous that game. We'll see if they can bounce back in game 2. This is a best of 3. Loser of this series is out of the Dream League Season 8 major.